Hello, my dear ones. I was recording a video for another series, but since we've started filming about etiquette, I immediately want to touch on a topic. We will return to it many times. Some of the most obvious faux pas, things that strongly break etiquette and instantly reveal that you are not a lady. And let's also talk briefly about this. Is it even worth being a lady? Maybe it's not worth it. It's a high title. Should we, girls, really strive to deserve it? You know, I am completely sure that it is worth it. Because a lady is not simply a woman associated with high society or a woman who knows etiquette and has good manners. For me, it's a little different. A woman does not have to be born into aristocracy, and she doesn't have to have endless free time to study manners. I've even heard this at seminars. We don't have time for good manners. We work so much. You know, I have worked a lot in my life, and I still do, and it never stopped me from knowing protocol, etiquette, and good manners. Good manners are what distinguish a lady from a rude person. They are not memorized rules. They are something that shines inside as nobility of the soul and then forms outside as beautiful behavior. So, what can reveal right away that your etiquette is not quite right? Let's name a few very obvious things every girl should know. For example, when you drink tea and stick your straight little finger far out, it may look refined, but it instantly shows that you are acting mannered, not truly well mannered. We will talk about mannerisms separately. True etiquette does not require exaggeration. Beautiful, aristocratic etiquette is, first of all, naturalness. It's not a performance. It's not about trying to stand out. It's about being appropriate and making people feel comfortable next to you, even if they don't know etiquette as well as you do. And another very obvious thing, it's almost funny to say, but sometimes it's more sad than funny. Never speak when you have food in your mouth. It's classic. I see it constantly in cafes, restaurants, at meetings. Even at my seminars, some girls chew gum while listening. Some join a live seminar stream and chew gum openly on camera. And in cafes and restaurants, on a date, or at a business meeting, people still have food in their mouths and they talk. When you explain it, they say, but what if I was asked a question? Isn't it rude not to answer? Chew, swallow, and then answer. And especially don't start a topic yourself with your mouth open. The conversation will be calmer and you won't say anything extra, also a benefit. Another thing, twisting your hair. I've seen it even with many bloggers. They speak, get excited, get carried away, and keep twisting the same curl again and again. It looks terrible and it breaks etiquette. It immediately shows that you are not a lady and you don't know etiquette. Touching your hairstyle is appropriate maybe once. If something is truly bothering you, something is sticking out, bangs fell wrong, it tickles, you may fix it. A woman can allow herself one or two small adjustments during an evening or conversation. It's acceptable, though still not desirable. Any situation with a woman and her handbag. I'm not even talking about the rule. You never put your bag on the table, even a small clutch. It is not acceptable. Some modern advice says if the clutch is tiny, it's okay. No, it should not be on the table. A handbag does not belong on the table. And if you are searching for something, I've seen women dump the entire contents of their bag onto the table in a cafe or restaurant. If you are searching, you quietly move things inside the bag from one side to another, but you never put them on the table. Never. Your handbag is like your inner world. And if there is such chaos inside that you need to cover the whole table in a restaurant, then perhaps there is chaos inside you too. It's worth working on it. A lady's handbag should contain only the essentials. A woman also never hands her handbag to a man. You wouldn't ask a man to carry your lace underwear, right? I hope, unless that's part of private games. That's a different topic. You also wouldn't ask him to wear your hat in public, would you? In protocol, a woman's handbag is treated as something just as personal as your hat or your lipstick. It's connected to your inner feminine world, your little mystery. A man does not carry a woman's handbag to be helpful, and a lady's bag is not supposed to be so heavy that she needs help carrying it. If you have a heavy shopping bag along with your purse, sure, he can help with the heavy bag, but your handbag you don't put into anyone's hands. It's yours. A very serious etiquette violation is not knowing jewelry etiquette. We will talk about it separately. But here are examples. Too many bright, large rings, mixed randomly, the more, the better. Or necklaces and beads that don't match in price, style, or mood. Or a full matching set, earrings, necklace, bracelet, ring, and everything is huge and attention grabbing. All of that is a violation of etiquette. Only boho style allows many layers in a folk spirit. In formal style, layering can exist too, but it must be elegant. And if you wear a matching jewelry set, modern etiquette usually says a set should have no more than 2 or 3 pieces, and only one piece may be the main accent, large and bold. Not everything large at once. Another theme that strongly reveals a lack of etiquette: loose hair combined with huge earrings down to the neck. Then the earrings get tangled in the hair, and the woman starts pulling and untangling it right there. A major violation is combing your hair at the table or in public at all. A major violation is fixing your makeup at the table in a restaurant or cafe or in public. For that, there is a restroom. You take your bag, step away, and fix everything in the ladies' room in front of a mirror. You never do it in front of people. What else? When a woman in a very short skirt sits with her legs tightly crossed in front of older people, or in a business meeting in front of a boss. In general, the leg over leg pose is quite a formal pose. If you are with close friends, maybe, and one-on-one with your partner, you can sit attractively and play with those poses privately. But in a formal setting, it is not appropriate. And I won't even mention sitting with legs wide apart. That is simply very rough, very rude behavior. And the tight leg over leg in a formal setting often shows a lack of etiquette. It makes you look like a simple girl who doesn't understand the situation. Another violation is when you very deliberately show that you know manners, like that famous sticking out finger. Some people can't be convinced to stop because it got into their head that it looks refined. But manner is bad. Good manners are natural and not showy. So when everything is done in an exaggerated way, hands folded demonstratively, the fork and knife placed with theatrical precision, it should be natural. You finished eating. You simply put down the spoon, fork, knife naturally. Another example, when you constantly thank the waiter. Whatever he does, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's his job. Show gratitude with a respectful look and a kind tone of voice, not with endless thank you. Or when the waiter is trying to serve you and you keep moving your plate, your glass, leaning away, shifting things. Why? Do you want to do his job for him? And if something falls in a restaurant, I've seen girls crawl under the table to grab it. Then they don't know where to put it. They may even put it on the table, or sit holding that fork or spoon and call the waiter. Or a napkin falls from your lap and you try to pick it up. No. If a utensil fell or a napkin fell, you stay seated. You can politely call the waiter and ask to replace the utensils or bring a new napkin. If it's a good waiter, he will notice and understand. Later, they will pick everything up. That's how it should be. Another thing that reveals a lack of etiquette when someone examines the dish suspiciously, pokes at it with a fork, makes a face, or sorts through the salad on the plate. No. Whatever you ordered and whatever was brought, you eat it. If you didn't like it, you simply won't come to that restaurant again. That's all. Also, for both men and women, it's very poor manners, especially in Slavic languages like Russian or Ukrainian, when you address a waiter or service staff with informal you. In the 1990s, some new rich loved doing that. It was always rude. In Russian/Ukrainian etiquette, anyone from about 12 years old should be addressed respectfully using you. And when you speak to service staff in a condescending tone, it immediately reveals rudeness. And when a woman does it, it looks even worse, because girls, especially, should carry the title of lady and the feeling of inner culture and inner nobility. By nature, a woman is created more gentle, she can sense it more easily, and a man will naturally rise to the level of such a woman. So that's the main list for now, and we will cover much more. Please write in the comments, have you seen what I described? What have you noticed? What do you catch in yourself or in your friends? And I want to tell you right away, even if you catch yourself doing something like this sometimes, it's not a disaster. If you have an inner aspiration, enough nobility in your soul, you will learn. But if you don't accept that others make mistakes, for example, you learned something and now you think you are an etiquette expert. You see that another person does something differently and you start correcting them right at the table, hinting, teaching, showing. That reveals anyone, but not a lady, because etiquette means the opposite. You try to minimize another person's mistakes and make everyone around you comfortable. You can say something later, in private, if it's appropriate. If the person asks you, or you have such a trusting relationship that they truly want you as a guide in etiquette, but to put someone in an awkward position at the table, to deliberately show what they did wrong and that they don't know etiquette, is also rudeness. A lady always has great acceptance, great understanding, and a desire for everyone around her to feel comfortable. Ladies learn etiquette not to proudly rise above others. They learn it to protect their own dignity and to protect the dignity of others, to create comfort and to make it good to be near them. And etiquette not only shapes your manners, it makes your soul even more noble, gentle, and kind. Our etiquette episodes are released every Monday evening, Pacific time. That's it, my dear ones. Write in the comments whether you agree or disagree with me. I love you, and until we meet again,